PPP loans were a huge scam, and we need to go after every single person that abused the system. 75% of it went to millionaires. It worked as designed. They are auditable for 6 years, and yes, we should go after most of them. I work in banking, and there are massive amounts of fraud involved in pandemic funds. Pretty much every type of funds that the government gave, there was fraud. Not just for businesses getting PPP funds, but even unemployment fraud. States and federal agencies did a terrible job of vetting these companies and people. I should have applied for a business license, applied for one of the small business loans, bought a truck, then get the loan forgiven. One of my biggest regrets. Congress already forgave them. It's over. It's just like the billion-dollar bailouts during the Obama administration that 92% of Americans were against, while a majority of Americans are literally for student debt relief we will never see it. Funny how that works, right? It's almost like the opinion of a majority of the population doesn't matter. My old boss paid cash for a Tesla right after the PPP loan was forgiven. The purchase price was super close to the amount of the loan. You're new to US politics. It seems this is how the US has worked for decades. I worked for an accounting office last year. The amount of fraud to get them forgiven was insane. Business owners would fire their staff but then put family members down as staff so they got forgiven. The accountant office I worked for had themselves listed as a meat market and got over $100,000 in PPP loans. No one got a raise, but the owner redid his kitchen. They also lied about a co-worker having COVID until all of us came down with it and they had to admit they knew a co-worker had it. Then my boss was furious. We all wanted to work from home. Said on a phone call from his Florida vacation home, "I don't work there anymore." Left the week before tax season to really stick it to them. Security guard work during closures and COVID lockdowns of 2020. Guarded locations closed during the pandemic and was paid by my employer from their PPP loans when customers shut down businesses and never paid for services. Business went bust October 2021. Was given an 8-hour notice on arrival, then my final payment. I went on a date with a guy whose company built a few buildings in Pittsburgh. His company received over $1 million. His company also bought him the brand new Range Rover that picked me up that night. On a smaller scale, my ex received $20,000 for his company that he didn't need because he didn't lose business at all, considering it was an outpatient clinic. He wasn't sure if he'd have to return it, so he let it sit in his account while he applied for loan forgiveness, which he got. He took that $20,000 and used it as a down payment for a home. Do I blame either of them? Not really. But the situation made my blood boil. I looked up most my past employers and all of them had PPP loans forgiven. Taxpayers have to pay for those ridiculous PPP loans, but can't pay to help relieve student loan debt. God forbid we help people who need it.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.